Hi, my name is Max Bell. I'm a senior systems engineer at Lucidworks, and today I'd like to talk about how we can use the Fusion platform to reduce the number of cases that you have to work, because you're providing self-support resources that anticipate the problems that your users might be having. And if they still wind up making a case, then we can also make your support agents more effective. And I'll show you a couple of demos of ways that we've found with our various customers to solve this problem. So first, I'm going to hit some case studies, and I'm going to talk about two particular customers and use cases before we'll go into the live demonstrations. So Lenovo, of course, supports their laptops, and they have a pretty complex support problem. Not only do they have a lot of different types of hardware they have to support and a lot of different operating systems on that hardware, but they also have 15 languages they have to support. And they need to provide the right answer to their users as soon as they hit the website, or they're going to incur the cost of a support case. And as we all know, that support case, the labor behind that support case can be pretty expensive and time consuming. And often that problem has already been solved and documented, and we just need to present that solution to the customer. And often it involves many hours of time of support resources in order to do that. So we'd like to prevent them from opening a case, but in some cases we'll have to. And you can see here we've used a few techniques. One thing we've done is, if you search for a keyword and there's a slightly different word that describes the same thing, like performance testing or performance tuning, right? Testing, tuning, monitoring. Those are all three terms that basically refer to the same thing. And we've been able to eliminate zero result answers for Lenovo's self-support website, so that their customers get the right answers, even if they didn't word their question exactly the same as the answer happens to be, right? We're able to leverage that across languages, and we can get feedback from users based on their behavior. They don't know they're giving us feedback. They're just clicking on different links. But when they click on a link and then they don't open a case and they don't look at any other result, that's a good clue that that result solved their problem. If on the other hand, they clicked a bunch of them and then decided and then opened a case, that's a pretty good clue that those three results are not really one that we want to show to other customers with the same question, because they weren't effective at closing that. And that closed loop analytic benefit is a part of the Fusion platform, and it can dramatically increase the amount of answers a customer, this should provide the right answers for a customer without a research project and without having to open a support case. Now, Red Hat's been using the Fusion platform for a few more years in the same use case, where they're trying to provide support for customers before they open a case. And if they do open a case, to be able to answer that question quickly and close that case as effectively as possible. So in the self-support realm, we were able to double the click-through rate. And that means that twice as often a user was able to find the right answer that solved their problem. And as a result, they reduced their caseload by 50,000 support cases in the first year. Also, because of this case reduction, they've eliminated a lot of busy work on the part of their support staff, because that support staff did not have to answer the same question over and over and over again. It's already been documented. We just need to provide it in a timely fashion to the customer, right? And we were able to do that. And because we were able to reduce the load on the support team, we reduced the total cost of operation on this system. Now, this is the go live click-through rate that we measured for the period that Red Hat first deployed the Fusion solution. And you could see that we went from about 3 out of 10 users finding a meaningful result for self-support, and that increased to almost 70%. So we more than doubled the click-through rate in less than a month by deploying Fusion and using these techniques that I mentioned. Now, we have a lot of customers that use Salesforce, and their agents use Salesforce for support. And when those agents go into Salesforce, they have to do some research once they locate a support case. So let's say a customer can't find what they want, they open a support case, and now they expect some help. But they're in Salesforce. Now, there are users that have been using Salesforce for over 20 years, and it is their tool of choice. It is the corporate standard. So we can't really take it away and provide a different UI, right? We have to make it work in Salesforce, even though there are things that Salesforce does not excel at, right? It's a very useful and broad tool, but there's specialized things like the things I was mentioning that it's not the ideal tool for. But we can't take away that UI from everybody. So we've created this product we call Agent Insights for Salesforce. It's in the App Exchange of Salesforce, and it allows you to connect with your Lucidworks Fusion instance, and it can provide your customer care agents recommendations for related cases, for knowledge-based articles that are appropriate for that case, and also suggest a subject matter expert that can help you solve this problem, all within the Salesforce Lightning interface, which means that the user can keep the business tool that they want to work in. And those agents can be more effective because you're not having to change the way they work or provide a lot of training, right? It has some unique benefits. It personalizes its experience based on the user and group that this particular agent is in. We can locate subject matter experts, and we can do it automatically. It's recommended based on what we find within Salesforce and also in other data sources in your organization, like Confluence or Jira, for example. And we know based on what they post, who is the expert, and we can present that evergreen expert recommendation. That's really just exposing tribal knowledge that already exists in siloed systems across your organization. We can also enrich these documents by providing other clues about the case that might not be obvious when your agent first looks at that case. Now, the head of customer support is going to like this because their agents are going to be more responsive. The customer support agents are going to like this because they don't have to leave Salesforce, and it's going to be easier to get the right answer without a bunch of research or a bunch of phone calls. And you have an admin that administers Salesforce, and that admin wants it to be easy to deploy this service for everybody in a standard way. And we do that as well. And I'll demonstrate that in a moment. So I'm going to do a live demo in a second. It'll be Agent Insights for Salesforce, which will use the Fusion platform to deliver some more contextualized insight. Right? It'll be signal boosted. We'll recommend subject matter experts, and it'll be available in the App Exchange in Q3. So here I am in Salesforce, and there's nothing special about this. This is the Lightning interface, which you may have seen in Salesforce. And among other things, this support team user might want to look at their cases today. And here's some cases that they've been working recently. And if I pull up a particular case, like this one, we'll see a normal case view, and there'll be lots of recommendations here in this case view. But you'll see we have this new Lucidworks pane that recommends other cases that are related to this case for a number of reasons. And these might be a good reference for your customer support rep that might allow them to quickly recommend a solution and close the case. Now, maybe they don't want a case. Maybe they want an article that explains in detail, for example, Kerberos authentication. And that recommendation is provided automatically based on cues that Fusion received from from Salesforce when they selected this case. So far, this agent hasn't had to do any research, any typing. They just selected a case and they're getting recommendations that are topical, that are appropriate to solve their problem. Now, these cases, these knowledge base articles may not exist in Salesforce. They may exist in Confluence or Jira or another website outside of Salesforce, but we can still get the benefit of that knowledge base inside Salesforce. We also can recommend subject matter experts. Maybe they don't understand, maybe they're a new rep and they don't really understand much about these cases or knowledge articles. And they kind of want a recommendation from somebody else, or they want to get to somebody who they're pretty confident can solve the problem. And because we've indexed all these Salesforce cases and these other knowledge bases, right? We have a pretty good idea of who in your organization is posting pertinent information regarding this issue or similar issues, right? Like Olivia Glover or Adam Mason. And because these people have been posting articles or maybe working other cases, they bubble to the top as the most likely person to know the solution to this problem. And your agent, often the support agents need to contact other resources, for example, in engineering, in order to solve a problem. And this provides a shortcut to do that. And again, they don't have to do any research. They don't have to switch systems. And we don't have to update this. This very simple fact that we're indexing more cases and more knowledge base articles as they're submitted allows us to keep this list evergreen. So your maintenance is not overwhelming for this, right? This is just automatically monitoring your existing systems and providing insight. Now, occasionally you might want to do a query on something that was not in the case. And you can do that research as well. And you can see that we'll get knowledge base articles and support cases that are related to the query that you made. So we're making it easier for your agents to find the right answer without any research at all. But if they want to do some research doing natural language queries, they can, or keyword queries, and they can get some answers across a number of systems, including those that are not integrated with Salesforce at all, right? Like I mentioned, Jira and Confluence, which are not integrated with Salesforce, but may have lots of knowledge that's very useful for your agents. So once again, just to review what I showed you, in Lightning, we can provide a portal into Fusion that's contextualized specifically for the case that your agent selected, that support case. And then we provide signal boosted results that are evergreen and pertinent to the question at hand. We can find subject matter experts. We can do raw queries, and we can find knowledge base articles. And this will all be available in the Salesforce App Exchange in Q3. And if you remember, we had a case section where we found relevant cases. We found it had a knowledge article section, and we had a subject matter expert section. So all of these automatically are populated with recommendations so that your agent can immediately get to the right solution and move on. Now, we mentioned other use cases. For example, we really like to stop a case from being opened. Rather than just making your agents more effective, we would love to take all of those cases that are easily solved and not even have them open, just have the customer get some self-support. And our platform was created in order to do this, to serve all these different personas, right? You'll have the customer, of course, that wants self-support. You have a customer support rep that wants to be more effective. You have business users that don't want any training, but they still need to get their answers. And you have an application administrator that needs to administer this, this application easily and effectively. And we've built this platform explicitly to solve all of these problems and others and be effective for all of them. make their life easier. So some examples of use cases that Fusion has been used for is in call centers to improve agent effectiveness, to provide self-service, as I mentioned earlier, like at Red Hat, and to deflect calls so that when a user is considering opening a case and they're on your website, maybe they can find the right answer before they choose to open one. And I'm going to show you a demo of that here. Okay, so I'm going to log into another portal. This is not Salesforce. Let's imagine this is on your website. Now I might ask a natural language question, like how can I test performance under load? And you can see I'm not really getting a lot of good results. And that might be for a number of reasons. But let's say I give up. I give up this, I'm a customer. I'm not very patient. I have a problem I have to solve. My boss is upset with me because the system's not working and I need to solve this problem. So I'm going to ask this natural language question as part of a case, because I know if I open a case, I get some help, right? So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start filling this form out. And wait a second, it looks like I did get a good answer. So I was able to make a natural language query on the self-support site and get an answer while I was opening a case. And this is a perfect example of a case deflection where I have a question, I go to the public website, and using natural language question without it being technical or focused on specific keywords, I get the right answer. And one thing I'd like to show you is even if I change the wording, so I'm using different keywords now, you'll see that I still get the same answer back first. So this is one way that we can deflect cases, is by using our vector encoded question answering system to understand natural language questions rather than just keywords and provide the right answer that doesn't vary depending on the wording of the question. And in this case, I've deflected a case, right? I can see on the right that I have the right answer about load testing. That's what I was looking for. So problem solved. We don't have a case. The customer gets what they want more easily. Their boss is happy. Everything's good. Thanks for your time and interest. I hope you found this useful, and feel free to reach out to me, max.bell@lucidworks.com, if you have any questions or would like to learn more about Agent Insights or the Fusion platform. Thank you.